Mark Mnuchin says he's anxious to see Nancy Schumer. But will it be a lot of hey, hey, Mr. Postman or hey, hey, Mr. Mnuchin? Hey, good evening. It's LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is Evening's LALATE. I'm here, you're here, but where is Nancy and Steve? We have really incredibly great news tonight about the second stimulus check negotiations. This is our 1-hour programming block every night at 6:45 that starts with a check and then goes to EIDL. Thank you for joining me. It's been a really promising day and a lot of great news. I want to say right off the bat that some viewers have a feeling of lack of encouragement and sense that the check is never going to occur. I want to say very clearly, it's going to occur. It's just not going to occur this week, and it's likely not to occur, meaning not to land in your bank account in the month of August. But it is coming. I want to make that very, very clear, because some people just think it's never going to come. I have incredible news tonight about the check. I also have great news about another check. One state is actually paying a stimulus check out today. Boy, I hope the rest of the states take note. And then third, I'll be giving you a lot of details about why the economic reports today was so important and why FPUC is really going off the rails and is going to need to be fixed, and why that will push a stimulus package deal. All right, let me get right to the details. Steve Mnuchin told News within the last 24 hours that Nancy is coming back to do POSTAL. That's actually how he said it, to do POSTAL, and that he thinks that Nancy will hopefully have time to meet with him. I sense a little bit of jealousy there, don't you? Now, he didn't say she's going postal. She said she's doing POSTAL. Or look at POSTAL. Speaker Pelosi's coming back to look at POSTAL. I can't say that with a straight face. Hopefully, she'll be more interested in sitting down with me. That's actually I added the me at the end of it, but that was the quote. Speaker Pelosi's coming back to look at POSTAL. Hopefully, she'll be more interested in sitting down. You know, not sitting down just in general, just sitting down with me. Boy, they're just, very flirty. I love it. That was the interview the Treasury Secretary said. Now, Nancy Pelosi wasn't asked for a follow-up response to his invitation to sit down with him, but her most previous remark was, "I'll see you when you come up with another $1 trillion." So if you don't know what's going on, everyone says you're getting a stimulus check. Everyone has agreed to a stimulus check. In fact, if this is not an indication, I don't know what is. If you go to Fox News, hey Fox News, if you go to Fox News tonight, they actually say, you're getting a stimulus check, just not now. Well, thank you, Fox News. That's so wonderful. Of course, everything is about how horrible the Democrats are not getting the check. But even Fox News thinks she's getting the check. So, I mean, if they think so, then so be it. I've already reported that you're getting a $1,200 stimulus check. It's going to come to all individuals, whether if you're a single individual and non-dependent. If you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits, you're going to get a check as well. The non-dependents will get a check as well as also. This is a change from the first stimulus package in which adult dependents, people 18 years of age or older, which can include people on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits, did not get a check. You were not eligible the first time around, but hey, Nancy and Steve agree. They agree you're getting a check. They agree on $1,200 for non-dependents. They agree upon married couples, $2,400. They agree upon minor dependents get a check. What they don't seem to yet agree upon is really anywhere between 1 to 3 factors. One, and none of these are deal breakers. The first one is that the dependents get $500 checks versus $1,200 checks. The second one is child support taken out by the Republicans, not taken out by the Democrats. And the last one is how big the household is. Republicans want to pay a family of 4 So if you have five children, sorry. But if you're in the Democrats' bill, the family of five gets paid. But family of six, no one wants to pay. That's the Brady Bunch, isn't it? Apparently, there's no Brady Bunch stimulus bill. So Jan, don't get upset here with me. That's the great news. So when would this happen, which is a lot of the focus now? I want you to understand, as we see here on a Thursday night, you're getting a stimulus check. And I understand you need it right now. You need it, months ago. You don't need it now. You need it yesterday. But I want you to understand when it could possibly come, but when it's definitely not coming. It's definitely not coming this week. It's, the check, and when I mean coming, I mean landing in your bank account. The landing in your bank account takes at least 10 days after Treasury sends it out, and you need to add 3 days for the House, the Senate, and the President to sign it. So it's at least 13 days. If Nancy and Steve Lilly, hugged it out right now, went on a postal date and then simply said, "Oh, stimulus checks, let's just do it." If they did it right now, you would have to add 13 days to today's date. So clearly, because this is the 20th of August, 13 days does not get you a check in the month of August. So let's clearly make it clear that there is no check coming to you in the month of August. It's, by all indications, it has to come to you in the month of September, because unless this is dragged out into the middle to late September, which I absolutely do not see it coming, then you would see the check somewhere in the month of September, because it's about 13 days out. That's if you're set up for direct deposit, if you're on ACH, a direct deposit because you're on benefits, SSI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and if you're not, then it would come by paper check. So, that is really the most important thing to understand. The lack of urgency to get this check deal done is very apparent. It is very apparent, and that's where a lot of the articles are moving tonight, and I think that really helps you. I've always said, and this is what's so important, that if no one's pushing the subject matter, then it's not an issue. And the White House issued a statement minutes ago. Tyler Goodspeed. How ironic. Tyler Goodspeed says we're moving too slowly. Thank you, Mr. Goodspeed. What is the Goodspeed? He says, "I've been very disappointed to not see a greater sense of urgency in Congress for Phase 4 agreement for those provisions which have bipartisan support." Let me translate that word salad. He's basically saying the things that don't have disagreement, that have bipartisan support, have support of the Republicans and the Democrats. He doesn't understand why there's no urgency to get the things out. I've said that as well, but I've also said that there's a reason for that, and that's to anchor the things that they don't have agreement for. So they're trying to push things that may not ever get agreement on done by anchoring them to things that are completely agreed upon. That might work, but the fact that people are literally starving to death, Nancy, it doesn't work. So I agree with Mr. Godspeed. I love your speed, Mr. Godspeed. Godspeed to you as well. Now, the rest of the discussion is also not good. There are reports out today, and I'm not saying Fox News, Washington Post, which is middle of the road, saying that this could ultimately help Trump and hurt Democrats. This sense of not taking the matter urgent. I've said this for a very long time, and all the viewers of this channel have said this all this time, and this channel is a mixture of Republicans and Democrats. There's no urgency by the Democrats to get this done. Moreover, this thing about Louis DeJoy, the soup du jour can go sit in the corner and wait and get cold because no one senses that as an urgent matter. They sense their ability to get to survive and not be evicted and have food on the table. That is a sense of urgency. And the fact that Chuck Schumer's running around talking every single hour about a postal officer doesn't really sit well. So the reports tonight say that ultimately Democrats could get hurt more and the Republicans could be helped if this keeps up. I'm not being partisan. I'm just reporting what the reports say. Now, when could they get this done? Well, Steve is hoping that Nancy meets with him in the next 48 hours, which, I don't think they would be meeting Friday, but he hopes they meet Saturday. They hope they meet Sunday, which is also funny because you know what Sunday is. We know what Sunday is. Sunday's the day that everyone that we never see, like, Pete Navarro and Larry Kudlow, who, disappears to just do mathematical calculations till he falls asleep and, get dizzy. They all appear on Sunday morning to to do talk radio and Sunday morning meet the press and meet the family and meet meet the Smurfs. They all meet and talk about stuff. Well, hopefully Nancy and Steve actually meet before Sunday. Now, as you know, Nancy is calling back the House back into session Saturday. It's not clear. It's consistently changing. One time it's Sunday, one day it's Saturday, one day it's Friday. It's Saturday. The question is, how long are they there? Moreover, the optics of the situation are not good for Nancy. You're bringing them back into town to talk about talk about your mailman. You're chasing your mailman, but you're not going to do anything about stimulus. That's not, it's not looking good for her. It's just absolutely not looking good for her. So she would absolutely get tarred and feathered, to be very frank, if she came in on Sunday, did postal, went postal on Saturday or Sunday, and then just left. And then, said the same thing again. I'm not meeting unless you come up with this. I'm not meeting, and children are dying, or children are hungry. It would look really bad for her and her party, and I got to tell you, I agree with the report. I think Trump's going to be helped by it because it looks ridiculous. Now, here's the backside of why I think it actually helps Trump. Ultimately, viewers thought that when the president issued that executive order for FPUC, which now is LWA, about 2 weeks ago, the initial reaction was, oh my God, it's unlawful, it's never going to fly, all the state attorney generals are going to sue and block it. I said just wait and see how it plays out because it is unlawful, but let's see how it plays out. Well, ironically now, we're up to 11 states who have been approved by FEMA for the money, and more states are applying for it, which basically shows that, and these are not just, Republican states, it shows that states think they need money, and it shows that President Trump got money out there for people, and that Nancy didn't. Now, we can talk about how absolutely horrible LWA is going to turn out to be. I'm going to just tell you right now. The first thing is that the new data today reveals that these checks may not land in your account for upwards of 4 to 8 weeks, except if you're in Arizona where they've already arrived. A lot of these states are absolutely not going to see these funds for many, many weeks, which is not the type of relief that American citizens want. They need the checks now. I mean, this is August 20th, so you've not received a check for supplemental benefits in late July, first week of August, second week of August. So this is the problem. People are now worried that the supplemental employment checks are arriving in September. By then, they'll be homeless. That's the first concern. The second concern is that's not enough money. So the efforts by the president may also sort of, slap him back because there's only going to be 3 weeks of benefits, $300 at most, and states are going to be paid on order in which they got approved. So if your state just got approved today, it's like waiting for the country fair. It's like, we have no more of the flannel cakes. Would you like some tuna melt? It's just, no, I wanted the flannel cake with the whipped cream. No, we only have tuna melt now. I don't want tuna melt. So it's just not going to work right. And because of that, I think that really pushes the envelope to get the stimulus check deal done. Why? One, and this is so important. Here we go back to dates again. FEMA money is going to run out in 3 weeks from today, or 3 weeks from earlier this week. So if you look at the calendar, that's basically about the second week of September. Well, guess when Congress goes back in session officially? The Senate goes back into session September 8th and the House on September 14th, right when FEMA runs out of money. Now, it's going to run out of money before people actually have the money, which is very funny. It's not funny, it's ironic that people are going to be waiting for money, not going to have the money, and the money's going to run out, and they'll be like, where's the money that you're supposed to pay? Well, the people who are getting paid, that are getting paid the 3 weeks may have to wait like 8 weeks to get the rest of the money. But the people who are waiting for the 3 weeks may never even get any 3 weeks. If that sounds confusing enough, it is. So that causes more sense of urgency to really get this done. Next, Oregon. Oh my goodness. Congratulations if you live in Oregon. You're getting a stimulus check. Yes. Yes, can you imagine? Oregon has agreed to pay stimulus checks to its residents. It said it's had enough. It's not going to wait around for the federal relief, and it's doing it right now. So this week, the state is going to pay out $500 stimulus checks to its residents who will qualify. Now, let me make very clear. This is a check that is not in replacement to the stimulus check. This is a check that's not in replacement to unemployment benefits. This is a check that doesn't require you to be employed. Who qualifies for the check? You're 18 years of age or older, so no children. These are no minor dependents, with an ID. And you had to have earned $4,000 or less monthly before the pandemic, so $48,000 less or less annual earnings, and demonstrate your income has taken a hit because of the pandemic. These are not tied to unemployment benefits. You may be eligible for unemployment benefits, but have since returned to work. It senses that about 70,000 residents will get these checks right away. And this has nothing to do with the stimulus check. God bless them. Why don't more states do this? Thank you, Oregon. I mean, why don't states do this? Now, I understand some states are bigger states. They can't afford to. We're talking about 70,000 residents here at that number, and other states, have hundreds of millions of residents that would be at $48,000 or less. But why don't other states do this? And other states are richer. Why don't they spend the money? It's that sort of concern that could turn into a sort of double backlash. Steve Mnuchin, who I affectionately often call Mark Mnuchin, said that the states have enormous bailout from the first stimulus package and have not used it. I've reported that as true. He says there's a lot of money sitting in their hands that they've never dealt out from the first stimulus package. Well, if that's true, why aren't you sending out stimulus checks to your residents? It's really, there's a lack of accounting by state representatives as to citizens as to whether or not this money's sitting around or not. Unemployment data was released today, and it's not good. And it's more indication of why I think you're going to get a stimulus package. I got to tell you, I know how we all hate the fat cats of Wall Street. We all hate those big, fat economists and those, testify for one stock split type of people. But they're ultimately the people that push the reality check in the situation. They're the ones that say, Steve, you see your valet tax, your valet zone for your Tesla is going to go up $3. What do you mean? What do you mean I have to pay more than $3 for valet? And that causes his sense of reality to kick in. Or Larry Kudlow, Larry, your $500 lunch is going to cost you $750 now. I can't have that. So it's that sense of a skewed reality that kicks in for some of these people, and it's now kicking in. Larry Kramer, Jim Cramer talked about it today. The unemployment numbers out today were horrible. They absolutely were horrible. This was the 22nd or 23rd week of unemployment benefits, new unemployment claims over 1 million since the pandemic started. Before the pandemic started, we were at 200,000 unemployment claims per week, which was like the best since, ever. Now we're at the longest run since the Great Depression. But what's horrible is that the number last week dropped under 1 million. So it showed incredible progress, and everyone thought, progress. Yes, we're getting better. The prior stimulus is working. Things are getting better in America. And guess what? The fat cats of Wall Street predicted this week to be even better than that. They were wrong. The unemployment number shot the other way, got very bad very quickly. So it shows that if you're a Republican sitting back and saying, everything's fine. Let me call my maid and my butler before I sign your bill that gives me liability insurance. Everything's fine here, Let me valet park my Rolls Royce and do some PPP money from my buddy at the golf club, and then I'll check on with you, and then I'll act like I care. No, the reality is very severe. And ultimately, the fat cats are going to lose their fat shirts because their banks are going to go belly up. Their commercial buildings are going to go belly up. Their people in their neighborhood are going to lose their homes to foreclosures, like we're trying to do, quick flips on $1 million mansions, like some bad reality TV show. Things are going to get very bad around them. And a lot of them have invested in restaurants. They've all lost their shirt in the restaurants. They've all gone bankrupt. And so the situation, ironically, is that for you to get your relief, it's often dependent upon the fat cats getting hit and realizing the situation's bad for them as well. And I think we're at that point. What I try to impress upon you is there's empowerment of knowledge. And I've always tried to give you a lot of knowledge with this channel, a lot of information. And one of the things that I need to tell you is that until you see a lot of sectors of life being impacted by the fall over the financial cliff, and that includes the rich fat cats of Wall Street, there may not be that urgency as Mr. Goodspeed talked about. And I think now, as we sit here on August 20th, there is that sense of urgency. There is that sense. It has been that sense of urgency for you for a long time. But for the fat cats, it's finally coming to fruition. Thank you for joining me. There is a hard thing to do with some of these videos, and I will fully admit that some people just want to know, is the check going out? And I got that. And then other people just lose hope. I don't want you to lose hope. I started this channel with a lot of people who lost hope, and they became very close to me. I became close to them because I told them not to lose hope, and they got everything they needed. They got everything. They had to wait longer than even I thought would have to wait, but they got it. And I see in the comments, and I try to comment as many times as I can with people, that people sense that they're getting nervous. And, that's why you do the choop and shuffle. You just shuffle to the left and shuffle to the right and just, shake it off. And, hopefully we realize that if we can figure out how to emotionally get through this, we will financially be fine. Coming up next is EIDL. Go to the front of this channel, like and subscribe to this channel. Tonight is going to be fun with EIDL. Coming up tomorrow is Mornings LALATE and a helicopter coming for me. As always, stay informed, stay motivated, stay smiling, and stay of LA for more.